Grief is a heavy and vulnerable conversation to have. This platform is a safe place for all individuals to come share their life's journeys of surviving grief without judgment.
I'd like to welcome you all to the QT Surviving Grief podcast. My name is Tiffany Ware, and I am here with a special gentleman. This guy is a husband, a father, a son, of course, a friend, a man of the cloth, and also I'm proud to say my big brother.
Hey,
And I would like to introduce you guys to Mr. Jarvis Tucker, Elder Jarvis Tucker.
what's going on?
Thank you so much, Jarvis, for coming on this
Sure.
special Father's Day edition.
Oh yeah,
I want to say Happy Father's Day to you, number one.
appreciate it.
But thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to do this with me. I want you to just tell the people who Jarvis Tucker is.
At the end of the day, Jarvis Tucker is just a servant at heart. Uh, Number one, I'm a father. Strive to be present and nurturing to my kids and loving on them. Just trying to provide a strong foundation for my children. I do have two by my beautiful wife, Joshua and Raina. But before me and her got together, she had two daughters, Aaliyah and Jemiah. But I've raised them like they're my own, and so yeah. At the end of the day, they mine too. So
Yeah, that's
uh,
right.
got four beautiful kids. We did lose one, Elijah. Our son
Okay.
Elijah, we lost him, but uh, we still love him.
Yeah.
As a teacher, I'm patient, purposeful, always willing to learn. I believe in empowering others through knowledge and just challenging them to grow while supporting them, with grace. As a friend, I try to be as loyal and dependable as I can. Um, Always show up, trying to show up when it matters. Uh, Listen without judging, because I'm nobody's judge.
Right.
There's only one judge, so I just try to be there for when you need me. And then as a coworker, I think I'm reliable. Um, bring a positive attitude as much as I can, especially if a person that smiles all the time. They ought to anyway. So I aim to
Yeah.
create an environment of mutual support. And then as a husband, yeah, to my beautiful wife,
Yeah.
I try to be, committed and attentive to her, and try my hardest to prioritize, her well-being and just communicate and continuously work towards, us building our family and working in ministry together. So at the end of the day, just a servant at heart.
Yeah, that's good, Jarvis. Everything you just said, I was thinking about each title that you hold and how you kind of laid some groundwork on what each of those titles mean. So
Yes, yes.
I appreciate that. That was very purposeful. And I was just sitting here thinking, I think I met you probably, it's like it's been about 10, 15 years ago through Quinn.
Through Gwen.
And yeah, we've been like tight ever since. And
Yes, ma'am.
so yeah, we had some
Oh, yeah.
fun times. And
A
I
lot
think
of
you
them.
and Cordelia had y'all on good times with him back and forth to Pulaski. So
And we sure did.
uh, I'm sure. I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
of it.
We cracked a joke the other day about something he said.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Boy,
That boy was a mess.
a
A whole
mess.
mess.
A hole.
But yeah, Jarvis, like I say, I appreciate you for being on.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so I want to open up our discussion, Jarvis, as it is Father's Day. I do icebreakers just to kind of get the ice broke on the podcast.
Yeah.
I want to know, you mentioned a lot about being a father to your four, and I want to know what's your favorite thing about being a father?
So I'll say my favorite thing about being a father is the little uh, everyday moments that somehow they feel sacred. Uh, it's the way
Mm,
my kids light up when they see me walk through the door. Uh, it's the late night conversations about life, the silly jokes. Um, the jokes that we make that only make sense to us.
yeah,
Uh, the the feeling of watching them grow up, even when how they learn, when they stumble and they fall, just watching them grow, not just physically, but in their faith, in character, and in their understanding. And it's one of the greatest blessings of my life, being a father. I've uh, never take it for advantage of that. So I'm grateful to God for that, and just seeing God's love reflected in my children is great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Every laugh, every question, every hug, it's like a reminder of the grace and the purpose God has placed in my life. So, uh, yeah, that's probably my favorite thing about being a father.
Yeah, and I like how you laid that out because what I don't, our audience may not know, it's a range there, from your
Yes,
baby boy Joshua all the way to Aaliyah. It's like you
yes.
got the teens, you got the preschool,
Oh
and then
man.
like the baby.
So we call them. We got set one and set two.
Like that,
Yeah,
like that.
set one is 16 and 19,
Yeah,
and set
yeah,
two is 1 and 5. So yeah,
yeah,
it started
yeah.
all over.
That's all over again.
Yes, yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, even, we all go to church together just for the audience
yeah,
and
yeah,
just to see the interactions.
yeah,
You
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
all four of them, you can definitely tell that that you're a great father. So
Man,
thank you
well,
for answering that question. I think it's important, and I think sometimes we don't really think about those, like you say, that connection, that
yeah, yeah,
bond,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's definitely what you just described, which is very important. And
Oh
we
yeah,
all know how important it is for children to have their father, a father figure,
yeah, yeah.
whatever that looks like in your life.
Right, right,
And
right.
so I appreciate that. I think we
No,
can maybe
hey.
get into that a little bit more as we go as well.
Okay, all right.
But I went. Of course, we're on our grief podcast, Jarvis, and so I did want to take a moment, in thinking about you being a father and thinking about who helped to mold you into the man that you are today. And I know when we previously spoke, we talked a lot about your grandfather, Riley Tucker, and then we also talked about your cousin, Tremaine Perry. So I want you to just take a moment to honor them and just let us know who they were to you, and just a little bit about them and their influence.
Okay. Well, my grandfather, he was more than just a pastor. To me, that was my best friend. Uh, my role model, one of the strongest men of faith I've ever known. Um, he didn't just preach the word; he lived it.
Hmm.
He
Okay.
was a pastor for some years, pastored multiple churches. Uh, uh, I mean, he's definitely been a big influence. Day in and day out, he lived what he preached.
Yeah.
Not saying he was perfect, but
Right. Right.
definitely took care of God's house with reverence and dedication, and he did the same for his house. He made sure my grandmother and my dad and my aunts and uncles that they were taken care of. And his grandchildren, he spoiled the mess out of all of us. Now I would say some of them girls,
Hmm.
he spoiled the mess out of them more than he did us. But
It's always the girls, Jarvis.
I'm telling you, I'm
It's
telling
always
you.
the girls.
And if y'all watching this, y'all know y'all got away with a lot of stuff. But I mean, he was just an awesome man. And, I learned a lot from him, especially his love and his leadership. I learned a lot. He was a businessman. He had his
Hmm.
own business. He had a trash route,
Okay.
and so me and some of my bigger cousins, that was probably some of our first jobs, working on Granddaddy's trash route. Uh, you
Gotcha.
know, that route, it wasn't just a job. To us, it was his legacy.
Yeah.
'Cause
Hmm.
when you go to Pulaski, if you ask anybody, hey, did you see Reverend Tucker? Yeah, we seen old Dump Tucker. So it was good, to see that, and not to just always see him in church, but just on the
Hmm.
outside of church,
Yeah.
the guy was funny. Uh, we was told that he was a ladies' man too, but
Oh, okay.
my wife tried to say that I got that from him, but
Okay, okay.
we'll talk about that another day.
Another time, another
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but he was just real. He
Yeah,
didn't pretend to be, like I said, didn't pretend to be perfect. He was honest, caring, loving, um, led with integrity, led with strength,
yeah,
served with humility. Um, I think he was the chaplain of the hospital. So, watching him go out there to the hospital, praying for people, checking on people and stuff, that showed me a lot about who he was as well.
yeah.
If anybody called on him, he showed up. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'll never forget just riding along in the trash route, watching him, fix things around on the church and, sitting on the porch talking to him and just listening to some of the stories he would tell. Those
Yeah.
small moments had big lessons in them. So, I was
Oh,
grateful for
yeah.
that though. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Tremaine, when we got to talking about Trey, I've been sitting with this one trying to find the right words. Uh,
Okay.
Truth is, no words could ever fully capture who my cousin Tremaine was to me. Because he wasn't just family. He was my
Mm-hmm.
pastor. He was a mentor, a friend, a father figure. Um, he lived a heart. He lived with a heart full of faith and purpose. He took care of God's house as well as his house with his wife and children.
Mm-hmm.
And he, loved them, and he loved his church family as much as he could with all his heart. Tremaine showed me a lot about how to be a man. Uh,
Okay.
Not saying that my father didn't, but the
Mm-hmm.
bond that me and Trey had, um, I can say for him as well. He just didn't preach it; he lived it. He prayed for me, prayed with me, spoke life
Mm-hmm.
into me. Always made me feel more like his son than just a cousin.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, and one memory I'll never forget is being out in the driveway with him and working on his car. He had a BMW, and
Oh,
I
okay.
ain't never worked on a car a day in my life. And he told me to pass him a tool, and
Yeah.
uh, I had no clue what I was doing. I just
Mm-hmm.
thought it was just about working on the car. But he was teaching me how to be confident,
Yeah.
how to learn, how to take what is going.
I was hearing you, then it went out. I can hear you
Okay,
now.
all right. Just him not being afraid to get under the hood. That's because of him. That's why. That's probably one of my many gifts, I guess you could say. Me working on cars now, but that's because of him.
Okay.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know without a doubt that Trey probably, he proud of me. So he served faithfully in his church, with his family and in the lives of so many others like me. So uh,
Mm-hmm.
I always have to, every once in a while I ride by Pinecrest and I be like, "Thank you, man. I appreciate it." And I know some people
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, you ain't supposed to be talking to the dead." I ain't talking to the dead. I'm just saying, like, I appreciate you. I ain't
Yeah.
forgot about you or forgot about the things that you taught me. So
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah. We have to honor people in that way, Jarvis,
yeah, yeah.
I think it helps navigate when we do, they talk about like the waves, the highs and lows of grief and
Uh-huh.
especially as time goes, like in the beginning it's so like just impact like it's a
Mhm.
lot, but then as time goes, they always say time
Yeah,
starts to kind of heal, but you gonna have them highs and lows. So
you gonna
I
have some.
think in the moments, when you're like, yeah, let me honor him in this way. Like
Yep, yep.
that's some Quinn used to always do. We ride by Pancrest and he'd be like, hey Emmeline, or hey whoever. But it's a way of really honoring them just for that
Yeah,
brief moment. So I
that,
think that's pretty all right.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in talking about that, Jarvis, as we know, they both have transitioned.
All right.
I want to know what your response was to them transition, and I'm not sure, I don't know the details surrounding it, but and I don't know how old you were either, where you were in life.
Got it.
But just thinking about it like as a, just a man, but then also as a elder, in the church, I'm starting to learn it's two different ways of kind of looking at this
Oh, most
grief
definitely.
and thing. So
Yeah.
I just want to know kind of where you were at with both of them individually, and just how did you kind of process that? What was your response to that at that time?
So for granddaddy, I think I was still in high school when granddaddy passed. Um,
Okay.
he went to church. He hadn't been long got out the hospital because he had bronchitis and asthma. I think asthma and all that kind of stuff. And he
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been long got out. But I remember he had got up at church, and I believe he said, uh, "If I go back into the hospital, I'm not coming out." And I'm
Wow.
like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Granddad just talking crazy again. But he had
Yeah.
his business fixed up and he knew what he was talking about. So
Mm.
I didn't want to hear that. So I was like, all right, Granddad just talking crazy. But he ended
Uh-huh.
up getting sick, went into the hospital, and he ain't come out.
Never came out.
So that hurt me. I didn't want to believe it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how in the Bible the guy didn't want to believe until he was, wanted to touch. Well, I didn't believe until I walked in the room and I seen for
And you
myself.
seen it.
And it hurt me. It hurt me. Still to
Mm-hmm.
this day, I may just look at a picture of him, uh, and I'll start dropping tears just out of nowhere. But it
Mm-hmm.
ain't tears of sorrow. It's tears of joy
Okay.
because I know he's in a better place. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
so like I said, I was in high school around that time. Um, when he transitioned, my cousin Trey actually took over as pastor. He was voted in as pastor of our church then. So
Wow.
having
Wow.
him come in, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, but then I think Trey ended up having like some heart issues. Uh, uh, we when he transitioned, I was at work. I was working at Frito Lay at the time, and I was up on a fork on the lift thing, and I was getting some
Mm-hmm.
packages down or something, or cleaning. I was doing something, and I got a phone call, and they had went to the movies, and I was actually supposed to be going to the movies with them that night. But for
Okay.
some reason, I went on into work,
Mm-hmm.
and I got that phone call and said he had passed, and I was like, "Oh, I don't even know what to do now." So, I was hurt on that one. Uh,
Yeah.
it brings sadness, heartache, and you may experience a heavy feeling of sadness, and sometimes feeling as if it's an essential part of our life has been taken away,
Mm-hmm. Oh
uh,
yeah.
and the emotional weight can be overwhelming, and
Mm-hmm.
particularly in the initial stages of it.
Yeah.
Um, then you have the confusion and the disbelief. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in the early stages of grief, I believe you might find it hard to accept the loss. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there may be moments where you question God, why it happened, or if it's real. Struggling to reconcile your feelings with the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Um, Loneliness and isolation. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Grieving a loss can make you feel disconnected from the world
Yeah.
around you, and as if you're walking through it life alone. So you might
Mm-hmm.
distance yourself from others or struggle to engage in activities that once brought you joy. So you isolate yourself from those activities or the people that was, around and during that time. Um,
Yeah.
then you have the acceptance and the healing part, um,
Right.
and that comes over time. For
Mm-hmm.
anybody that says that you get over grief like instantaneously, it doesn't happen like that. Sorry to
Oh
bust their
no.
bubbles, but it don't.
Right.
Uh,
Mm-mm.
that's an overtime thing. You may start to find a sense of acceptance, But that doesn't mean forgetting or not feeling the pain anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
but more of learning to live with the loss, and adapting to a new reality that they're not here
Yeah.
anymore. Uh, and that's a process. And like I said, it could take
Mm-hmm.
months, years, or maybe, whatever to feel complete again or even heal. So, yeah,
Yeah.
losing loved ones, it gives you a new res- perspective,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
when you're going through that deeper sense of empathy,
Oh yeah, for
or
sure.
reevaluation of what's important in life. So,
Yes,
yeah,
it does,
yeah,
Jarvis. That is very true. I like how you named all of that, the loneliness, even, all the way up through, you like took us through that whole, like we talk about the stages of grief,
yeah,
and how we get to that point of at some point, even though it's a process for
yeah, yeah,
sure. But I think sometimes people feel like, oh, they don't even know what to name what they're feeling. So I think everything you just named
yeah,
was really good for people watching because maybe they can identify with like, oh, this is why I'm not wanting to attend family
yeah,
events. That's why I'm not, because sometimes it just takes. I'm learning just a lot about perspective
yeah,
and
yeah.
how we can have one perspective, but
Mm-hmm.
it takes talking to other people and really being in community with people
Yeah.
to, recognize a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff. So yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. How did it take you a long time? Well, let me ask you this, because I mean, with some deaths are very hard.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like you've gotten to the point of acceptance with both of them? And what was that process like for you? Was that staying connected with God since they were both, in ministry? What did it look like you getting to that point of acceptance?
It took a while, especially with granddaddy. It took a while, but I finally accepted it, and that was just me, actually connecting with Trey, and
Okay.
being able to see that, hey, granddaddy's gone, but if you need a friend, I'm here. And so
Yeah.
that's where he stepped in, and um, so that helped out. That I had somebody to step in there to help me through that. And
Mm-hmm.
then with him, it definitely took a while. That was my guy. Uh,
Yeah.
me and Trey had something special, like almost like an Elijah and Elisha type of relationship. We
Okay.
had that type of bond. So um, when losing him, I definitely. Now I'm not gonna say I stayed in my word and I prayed,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because after losing Trey, I really didn't want to go to church no more. Uh,
Really? Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I mean, at that time, I was a musician. I loved playing.
Uh-huh.
Drums was my first love. So, you know,
Okay.
but I didn't really want to go to church. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just, I didn't want to do anything else because I'm like, well, Lord, you done took away two of the best men I'd have known.
Right. Right.
So what else is it for
Yeah.
me to do? But
Mm-hmm.
uh, the Lord got away, taking, ringing you back in.
Yeah.
And
Yes, he does.
so that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. But with Trey, it was profound because it was like one Sunday in Antioch. That was our home church. He
Okay.
sat me and my cousin Charity. He sat us down in the pulpit, in the chairs in the pulpit, and he told us that he was going to pray over us, but we would not be able to get up till the Holy Spirit releases. And I
Wow.
really believe that was him imparting into us.
Uh-huh.
I know for sure for me, he definitely imparted some things, and some mantles, for me to carry on, especially some of that Tucker legacy. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, but eventually I ended up getting back, going to church. Um, I started back singing and stuff, with my guys,
Mm-hmm.
with Pastor Kenneth Duke and the Faithful Ambassadors, which is now just
Okay.
the Faithful Ambassadors.
Yeah.
So doing that helped out a lot as well. So,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah,
Yeah, that I like how you just it all makes sense, Jarvis. And yeah, I mean, we all get to the point where, when you have things like that happen, you don't want to go to church. And I mean, just you
Hmm.
admitting that, and I think I've admitted that plenty of times,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just on this podcast and just in talking to people.
Mhm.
But like you say, God has a way of reeling you back in,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
because you need that component of your well being.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely, that spirituality is very important.
Oh, it
So,
is.
yeah, I appreciate you for just wrapping that up. And thank you for giving us a history just of your family and, from your grandfather being like an entrepreneur with his own business. I mean, that's amazing. And,
Hmm.
on through the ministry and how you're toting that legacy at this point.
Yeah,
Definitely of keeping it going. So,
I'm
I know
trying.
they're
I'm trying.
peacock proud of you, as people say, for sure. Um, so Jarvis, another thing I did want to bring up and talk to you about, of course, we talk a lot about grief, but as we know, grief is not only death related.
I
We
know.
all have different struggles in life and different things that happen to us that we don't ask for, just things that just are laid in our lap. And, we have to figure out how to navigate that. And a lot of times, grieving, whatever that process looks like, is definitely a reality of life.
Oh
And
yeah,
I know in 2016, your life changed drastically. And so I want you to share your testimony because that's really what it is, a testimony.
for
Whatever you
sure.
would like to share about that with people.
Well, I guess I'll start off. 2015 is when me and Cordelia we got married. Um, and I don't know, like I knew like I had a calling on my life, but I was running.
Okay.
So God always got a way of getting your attention about certain stuff as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and I really think that was probably the main reason. Because everything you go through, there's a purpose behind it.
Yes, sir.
Um, but in 2015, we got married. We were still living in Pulaski. I decided, hey, I don't want to be in Pulaski anymore. Let's get you up out of here. Let's see if there's something better for us north. Um, well, I was working full time at Frito Lay, but I ended up getting fired the week after I got married.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
the night of our wedding, um, I think it was a little bit after midnight, we ended up getting a call that my grandmother had passed, which is my granddaddy Riley's wife. Her name was Alva.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Grandma Avalu, she passed away. So all of this is hitting, and I'm like, Lord,
Yeah.
good Lord. But we actually went and talked to Grandma before my wedding day, and she said, I'm proud of you, baby. Go and do what you gotta do. You make sure you take care of that woman and them girls, though. And so
Mm-hmm.
she charged me, and I make sure I've been living up that charge ever since.
Yeah.
Uh, so you got 2015, we get married, lose my job, grandmama passed. Uh, Ended up getting a job at Ryder, so we came to Columbia. Um, Body was hurting, didn't know what was really going on, uh, and some days I couldn't even get up on the forklift. That's how bad it
Mm-hmm.
was. Or if they put me on the tugger, it was
Mm-hmm.
days I would struggle trying to get stuff to the line. It was bad. Um, and then I was going to Rebirth Fellowship at the time under Apostle Alderson, and
Mm-hmm.
he he looked at me one day and he was like, "Son, you gonna have to go to the doctor. Like something wrong with you." And Cordelia kept telling me too, "Babe, something wrong with you. You need to go to the doctor." But as
Yeah.
men, sometimes we just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm fine." So
Hard.
I'm
Yeah.
taking Tylenol, ibuprofen,
Yeah.
Motrin, whatever I could take to try to ease the pain. That stopped
Mm-hmm.
working. Like it wasn't even working no more.
Mm.
So Ryder let me go. I ended up working at a plant down in Mount Pleasant, and it was third shift. I got in there and got to hurting real bad. I went out to the car and went to sleep and didn't even go back in. Went home the next day. Um, I said I was going to work, but I didn't go to work. I actually went to the church and laid down at the altar at the church, and that's where I slept at. until the next morning and went back home.
Okay.
Sunday morning came, um, got to church. Apostle looked at me. He was like, "You need to go to the doctor." I'm like, "All right,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't feel no better tomorrow, maybe I'll go to the doctor or whatever." Woke up, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was like a Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Cordelia was getting the girls up. They got to school. She went to work. And I told her, that I was probably gonna go to the doctor. Well, I was hurting so bad I couldn't even really get out the bed. It was bad. So I struggled to get clothes on. Apostle helped me to the car. Took me out to the health department. And the
Okay.
lady just kind of looked at me, and when, she kind of looked at me, and one of the nurses walked by, and she was like, "That's a dead man walking." And
Mm.
so they was trying to draw blood, and they couldn't even get blood drawn.
Wow.
And so the one lady looked at me, she was like, "Oh, he's got cancer." And, I'm sitting there like, I don't know what she's talking about. But then I started
Right.
going in and out. Like I started fading in and out.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
got over to Maury Regional. Uh, got over there and they said I needed blood transfusions. I barely had any blood like really pumping in my body. So I needed a blood transfusion. They ran a blood sample and they seen that I did have cancer. Didn't know what kind yet. So they was like, "We're going to send him up to Vanderbilt, but he needs to go now." So
Mm-hmm.
they was like, "We're putting you in an ambulance. They'll see you up there when you wake up because we're going to give you something to put you to sleep." So they put me to sleep. When I woke up, I had a port uh, already in my chest. Um,
Mm.
and they had already gave me my first round of chemo. So I mean, it was quick. Like the doctors worked
Quick.
quick. But I remember telling them that if I'm gonna go through this, then give me the
Uh-huh.
best doctors I can have because I don't want no doctors just gonna use me as a guinea pig. I want
Right.
somebody who
Right.
believes that I can get through this.
Yes.
So 2016 was a hitter. It hit me hard. Like I said, I mean, just got married, and I mean, it wasn't even a full year, and being
Yeah.
married to my wife, and here it is now. I got cancer.
Mm.
That's me bringing, having a conversation with the Lord. Hey,
Right.
big fella,
Right.
listen.
Right.
Now you just told me this lady was mine, and
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be here for her and these children. So what's going
Yeah.
on here? And
Yeah.
for a while, I didn't get an answer. I didn't get an answer.
Okay.
Um, it was hard. I had started, I had got real small. A lot of people was trying, used to me like this size,
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that,
being a nice
Jarvis.
sized
Yeah.
guy. Um,
Yeah.
my wife's cousin, Robert, he's like a little brother to me. He
Okay.
seen me one time. He was like, "Boy, you look like you on that stuff." I'm like, "Man, I ain't on nothing." He's like, "Well, you sick or something?" And but I just didn't
Yeah.
realize how sick I was.
Was.
Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, there you go, was. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but yeah, 2016 was a hitter,
Yeah.
man, and it was a process, learning experience, but I wouldn't take nothing for it because I learned a lot.
Yeah.
My
Mm-hmm.
relationship with my family, especially my
Okay.
wife,
Yeah.
definitely got deeper and stronger.
Oh
And if
yeah.
you want to talk about a praying wife, that's a praying wife.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to toot my horn, but I'm gonna toot my horn. I got one of the best praying wives it is around on this side of heaven.
Yes, you
Uh,
do.
she
Special.
prayed for me.
Special.
She took care of me when I came home. She was actually giving me my medication and stuff through my port.
Mm-hmm.
When I ended up getting a blood clot, she had to give me my blood thinners. So she
Yeah.
became a part-time nurse, well, full-time nurse. Uh,
Yeah.
on the other side of being a cosmetologist and being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, yeah,
Yeah. Cordelia, a soldier. I remember them. I remember all that, Jarvis, and she's
Man,
right there with you,
right there.
and didn't miss a beat. Still doing hair.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I was going to Lynn at the time, and yeah, just didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Soldier for sure,
yeah. So
for
I
sure.
definitely, try to give her flowers, well, so she can
Oh
hear.
yeah,
Cause that if it wasn't for that lady right there,
yeah.
uh, I probably would have gave up. But I know her
Yeah.
prayers were heard,
Uh-huh.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
just laying hands on me and praying over me, like you
Yeah.
know when somebody's sincere about what they're praying
Oh
about
yeah. That's right.
and that relationship that they have with the Lord, and she got a relationship. So I
Yeah.
knew she the prayers of the righteous availeth much.
Yes,
Her
yes,
prayers,
yes.
they did it. So not
Yeah.
saying that everybody else's prayers weren't working either, but
Right, 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 right.
for being in the
No,
household with me, yeah, yeah,
yeah, she's seen it all,
yeah,
Jarvis. Like you,
yeah,
that was one thing I was saying, like
and
the
lows,
highs and lows of what that looked like, during your recovery. I
yeah.
mean, she was right there with you. It's people, say ride or die. Like
Oh, she was
she,
riding.
like the epitome of that for sure.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
she's
Yes, ma'am.
there.
He
So
was
I
in there.
think it's great for you to admonish her in that way because I'm sure she probably went through her own thing as well. Just when
Oh,
you have
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
go through something like that and being the strong one, the strong
Yes,
backbone for the
ma'am.
family.
For
So
sure.
yeah, yeah. During
Yeah.
your recovery, Jarvis, what did that look like for you? Was it long, extensive? Was it just how did that look like? Just your everyday. And I'm sure like people say you have bad and good days. But what was that journey like for you mentally and emotionally and just all of that type of stuff when we think about things that happen to us?
Um, I definitely had it was an emotional roller coaster. Um,
Okay,
there were some days where I was good, but then there were some days I was a butthole. Um,
gotcha.
I would just, be upset about any little thing. Um,
Yeah,
and I know that they knew it. Even her and the kids, they knew that it was probably,
yeah,
just from me going through what I was going through. Excuse me. And in
yeah.
spite of that, they
Hmm.
still love me and care for me. Uh, and I'll say that too. The girls, they did their part. They helped take care of me too. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, it was a process, especially on
Oh
days where I
yeah.
went to get treatment. I would be
Hmm.
tired. And it may be 2 or 3 days after that, I would still be a little tired or a little sore. Um,
Hmm.
especially when I had to start getting spinal taps. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely will be
Yeah.
sore after them. Uh, it, it was a process. It was a process.
Just the process.
Not being able to eat the things that you would like to eat, certain
Hmm.
smells. Um, that you didn't like certain smells. Things didn't taste the same. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll never forget. It was Thanksgiving. I was in the hospital, and my auntie Donna
Hmm.
makes a good pecan pie, and
Okay.
I was teed off that I was in the hospital and
Yeah.
couldn't get to get no pecan pie, and
Yeah.
so stuff like that. That's part of that high and low.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it is. I mean, it's
Sensory stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah. That was
Yeah.
bad. Being able to play with my children. I couldn't do
Yeah.
too much.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
my god kids, they would come to the house, and their parents would be like, wait a minute, don't sit on them yet. You all right, Jay? You all right? All right, take your time.
Hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm good, y'all. Like, just give me the baby, like,
Yeah.
But that right there, that had me feeling a certain way too, because I'm like, dang, now they think I'm just this fragile person. Um,
And as a man, I bet that really did
oh
mess
man, it
with your
hurt.
psyche a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt. So yeah, but I ended up having to,
Yeah.
really have a conversation with myself and God, um,
Okay.
and come to the realization like, hey, in order for you to get better, so you can be able to run and play with them, pick them up, different things like that, then you're gonna have to fight harder than this. You're gonna have to be strong. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when I definitely got more in my word, definitely prayed more. Um,
Okay.
my music. Um, it was a good while before I was able to touch a keyboard again or a set of drums. But when I did, it was like
Uh-huh.
soothing. It was
Yeah.
peace. So
Yeah. They always
yeah.
say this music can be therapeutic.
Oh, it
In a
is
way, when
for
we go
me. It
through
is.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And Jarvis, and this is not even something I had written down, but now that I think about it, when we hear leukemia, for me, I've always heard of children, so, and you are
Yeah.
an adult,
Yeah.
and I think that's like one of those things out there that we know, like you hear about children have leukemia, but you'll never, I don't have, I think you were probably the first adult, that I heard, of that had leukemia. So,
Yeah.
I don't know what statistics are on that, but thank you for bringing that to this platform and
Yeah.
letting people, see that you could be an adult and of course have
Oh
cancer,
yeah.
but specifically leukemia.
Yeah. I can't remember what the statistics was, but it ain't high.
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
very. It's not too rare that you get an adult to get leukemia. I
Yeah.
think the only other adult that I really know that had leukemia, I
Hmm.
think, is Roman Reigns, the wrestler. I think he had leukemia.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
so I mean, and it was crazy because I really had to ask God, like, why'd you give me something that children usually get? And when I
Gotcha.
really sat there and thought about it, I have a heart for the youth. And so, what other way for me
Mm.
to get down on their level and
Mm.
really be able to talk to them and
Wow.
be able to tell them about, hey, um, even I have something that you guys usually get at your young age,
Uh-huh.
but I had it.
Yeah.
And so, let me tell you my
Yeah.
experience about it. And so,
Yeah.
not only can I encourage someone that's elderly or seasoned, but I can also
Mm-hmm.
encourage someone who's younger because of what I
Yeah.
experienced. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and you've done just that, Jarvis. Even with my little cousin, who is currently going through that journey of leukemia, and just being, I think
yeah.
she looks at you like, oh my God, like I'm gonna, like it's you giving her hope. I know y'all had conversations, and
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah.
cousin has dropped by. You've had conversations with her grandmother as well, so you're definitely shining your light in that way, especially in my family. So I just appreciate that. With
Bless
that
you.
being said. I want to know, what advice do you have for like someone like my cousin who's dealing with this with her granddaughter? Like, what advice do you have for caregivers of that's taking care of someone with just cancer in general or any type of um illness? What advice would you have for them?
I would just say take it one day at a time. Um, Rome wasn't built overnight. Healing doesn't just automatically come overnight as well. It's a process. Um, do understand that yes, we are when you're in those situations and you have that cancer and stuff or any kind of sickness that may be going on and you're taking care of someone, realize that they do have feelings and emotions. Um,
Yeah.
if they tell you they're not feeling it, they're 9 times out of 10 they're not feeling it. If they tell
Yeah.
you, hey, I really don't know. I'm tired and I'm about to give up. Then you need to take heed of that because um, they're probably telling you 99.9% of what they're really feeling. So
Yeah.
definitely be mindful about their feelings and their emotions. Um, be real with them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just continue just to be there for them, be that safe place for them, that safe haven. Um, I know it does get tiresome, having to do stuff for them, but in the long run, you're taking care of one of God's children.
That's
So
right.
if you're taking care of some of his, he gonna take care of you. So
Oh yeah.
I really believe that, if you take it one day at a time and continue to do what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing, it'll be, you'll reap a harvest in the long run
Oh yeah,
for the
for
seed that you're doing.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I just thank God for your life, Jarvis. I thank God for bringing you through, and now you're able to be a mouthpiece, just that experience and just in general, what you do
Yeah.
every day, even your career. You're always encouraging people, and you can really relate. You're really relatable, and I think that makes a difference. And like you were saying, validating people, whether they're going through a sickness, whether they're coming
Yeah.
into your job and needing help, needing support. I mean, we have to
Yes, ma'am.
validate people because their feelings about, and it makes a difference. And they
It
can
does.
often change the trajectory of, their life or what they think about themselves or a decision they may go make when they leave from that building. So
Correct.
you're
Correct.
definitely the epitome of that for sure.
Man,
For
hey,
sure.
all glory be to God. I definitely say that.
Yes, sir.
Because if it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be here. Most definitely.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes,
uh,
sir.
I told him a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
send me, I go. Well, sometimes we have to be
Yeah.
careful about how we tell God to send us, we'll go. Because
Yeah.
ever since I went, he been
Right.
sending, and I've been having to go. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but I don't
Yeah.
take it lightly. I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
God's just that good, man. And uh,
Good.
if I can be a test, no test, no testimony. I always say that, no test, no
That's
testimony,
right.
no mess, no message. So, you
Yeah,
know,
that's true. I like that.
yeah.
No mess, no message. I like that, Jarvis. That's new. I need to write that in my
Hey, I'm telling
mental
you,
Rolodex.
no mess,
I
no
like that.
message.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, yeah. Well, as we wrap, Jarvis, I want to know what are some daily practices that you do just to keep yourself grounded or rooted. Um, just want to know what you do just to keep yourself in a good space.
Um, Definitely just being able to, number one, I protect my peace. I,
Okay,
I'm,
expound, help
uh,
us.
I know, and that goes with family, friends, co-workers, whatever it may be. If you got some
Mm-hmm.
drama, or you're trying to
Yeah,
bring drama or mess this my way,
yeah,
I'm gonna protect my peace by guarding my ear gates, my eye gates. Um,
yeah,
I don't want to get involved in a bunch of drama. I don't do that. So I
yeah.
definitely try to steer clear of that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Number two, um, I make sure on my Bible app, I have the Bible app on my phone,
Okay.
and I have it has where you can set up plans on there, and it has daily
Yeah.
devotions with scriptures. Uh,
Yep.
so even if it's like late at night or if it's in the morning when I'm on my way to work, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely try to make it uh, intentional for me to
Mm-hmm.
read one of those plans, or even if it's just reading that daily scripture that's on there. Um,
Gotcha.
and then, my study time with the Lord.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then if there's a time where I can get to play my music, I definitely do that to try to stay grounded. And then just being around people that I know that are real. Um,
Yeah.
I don't like that too fake, stab behind the back stuff. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll put this in for free. Everybody that call you bro ain't bro, and everybody that call you
That's
sis
true.
ain't sis.
Sis ain't sis. That's
You
right.
can be an
That's
associate.
right.
I appreciate you.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
like even family, sometimes family you gotta love them from a distance.
That's
So
right,
and
Jarvis.
that goes
Yes.
goes along with protecting that peace too. So
That's right.
that's usually how I keep myself grounded. Uh,
Yeah.
just number one, protecting my peace and making sure that the Lord is definitely at the center. Not saying
Mhm.
that every
Mhm.
day, no,
Mhm.
because there are days that I do miss not reading my scripture or something like that. Because life happens, you know.
Oh yeah, it does.
Especially when you
Mhm.
got children and different things like that going on. Sometimes you may not have that opportunity to go read your Bible and study or something. So I don't
Yeah.
want nobody to think that, I got to go read and study every day. I mean,
Right.
it was
Right.
good
Right.
if you do. I'm not saying that
Mhm.
I'm not knocking against you, but there are times we as parents, especially fathers, for me myself, I have a lot going on trying to make sure I'm a father, protector, the head of the house,
Mhm.
all that stuff. Um, I may not get that opportunity, but it's good if you can. Definitely, you know, study your word and prayer. Prayer, definitely a key.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it ain't got to be no long, drawn out prayer. Just a quick prayer, conversation with the Lord. And that can mean a
Mhm.
world of difference in how your day goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good, Jarvis. I like that. I like how you everything you just mentioned, the spiritual aspect of it, the mental aspect of it, all of that is just super important. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I like the way you ground yourself. I'm sure all of it kind of sets just like I said, the trajectory of your day, of your life in general. And
Oh,
I
for
think when we
sure.
can pour more positivity into ourselves, you expect that positive result. So
Oh, yeah.
but that first one I like. You got to protect your peace.
Got to.
I like that one.
Got to.
So, okay. This is a question I ask everything. I know you into music, as you know, Quinn was in music. Y'all used to play together, sing together, all that.
For sure.
If you could have a song be your life story, what would that song be and why?
Uh, I'm going to say probably Vashawn Mitchell, turning around for me.
Okay,
Uh,
that's a good one.
I mean, it says that, it won't always be like this.
Mm-hmm.
God will perfect that. That's concerning me. So when I was going through cancer and going
Mm-hmm.
through loss, I really had to
Yeah.
believe that things were going to turn around. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so even for somebody who, like you, who's going through what you're going
Yeah.
through,
Yes, sir.
it's a process. But he said in the song, I believe it's turning around for me.
Yeah.
And it won't always be like this. Not saying that it's going to happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month, but
Right. Right.
morning is coming. Uh,
Yeah.
and, when morning comes, I mean, it'll come. But yeah, it's turning around for
Yeah.
me. Um,
Yeah.
and then also, I think I used to listen to
Mm-hmm.
the Vashawn Mitchell, Let Go, Let God. Um,
Okay. Yeah. That's another. Yeah.
yeah,
That's another good one.
couldn't seem to fall
Mm-hmm.
asleep. So much on my mind.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Searching for that peace I could not find. Um,
Yeah.
so that's definitely a good one as well. So
Yeah.
those were definitely two songs that I listened to, uh, for sure.
Yeah. And it's crazy how even you just reciting the lyrics right now, those songs this it's really about it's ministering to you when you listen because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
a lot of times we just listen to whatever like you watch award shows like you just
Hmm.
listen to radio whatever, but are you really paying attention to what it's saying
Yes.
and whatever it's saying is pouring into your spirit, which is
Hmm.
going to be what you show and feel and all of
Yep,
that.
yep.
So it kind of goes back to us talking about how music can definitely be therapy
Yeah,
and just listening to what you was just saying, like, yeah, it's just ministry, it's therapy, it's all of it. How powerful music
it
is.
is for sure.
Yeah, very powerful. Very powerful. Well, Jarvis, we are at the end. But I did want to ask you, do you have anything you would like to promote? I know you are a musician, you're a singer, you're an elder at church, you got a booming career. Just if you want to share anything you'd like to share with the people, feel free to do so.
All right. Well, I do work for the state of Tennessee, the Tennessee Department of Labor, over here at the American Job Center here in Columbia, Tennessee. If you're in need of a resource, trying to find a job, you need a resume assistance, we do have other programs here, adult education, vocational rehabilitation, as a as well as a Title I grant program that helps assist with tuition and different things like that if you're looking to go to school. Um, we also have a new program that's rolling out that has to do with, I think, medical assistant, a CVS tech, or a pharmacy tech, different things like that. If that's something you're interested in, definitely stop by and see us. Again, with the American Job Center, 119 Nashville Highway, Suite 106, here in Columbia. Um, then also, I'm gonna shout out our church,
Yeah, yeah, got to do that.
New Day Community Church here in Columbia, where our leaders
Yeah,
are Pastor Marcus K. Duke and Lady Shannon. Um, we're
yes.
just a church that, we love on you right where you are. We want you to be able to come in and worship God in spirit and in truth. And, we love our youth. We build, we train, and then we teach. So definitely, if you don't have any place to go, definitely come worship with us on Sunday mornings. We're there at 9 a.m. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for worship service on Sundays, and then on Wednesdays we're there at 7 for midweek worship, and every fourth Wednesday is our youth worship, and that's where we take time to pour into our youth, and definitely train them up, so when they get trained in house and they get ready to go outside, they can use what they learn to be able to help their friends or somebody else out there outside the walls of the church. So, yeah, New Day Community Church, 606 Mooresville Pike, Columbia, Tennessee.
Yes, come see us on
Oh
Sunday
yeah, and let
mornings.
me
We get it in.
yeah, for sure. We will worship. Yes, we will. Uh,
Yes, sir.
and then I'll shout out my wife and my daughter. They're cosmetologists, hairstylists. I don't know if my wife is taking any new clients, but my daughter, she is coming up. Aaliyah, she's coming up, and she's learning just like her mom. So both of them are doing great as well. So come to Hairworks and Columbia. Those lovely ladies up there, they do their best to make sure they take care of you as well. So yeah,
Yes, they do. And Cordelia is my hairstylist. So, yes, go see her. Check her out.
yeah.
For sure. The best to ever do it. For sure. In Columbia, hands
Do
down.
you hear me?
Hands down. Specializing in everything.
Yeah,
Flat iron, dreads, everything.
everything. We
Everything. Whatever
got you.
you want. Well, Jarvis, I do appreciate you for being on. I appreciate you for shouting out everything you have going on. Just the inspiration, like I say, my big brother,
Man,
been that was like I say, we was all when Quinn was here, been there for me after.
yes, ma'am.
Expecting nothing but the list. A
Oh
good
yeah,
friend of Quinn's, and I just appreciate you. And
man.
I know he
Appreciate
like I
you.
know I got a strong band of brothers. It's gonna be there
Oh yeah,
for
we
you.
here.
So
Ain't going nowhere
yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate
for
it.
sure.
Well, I want to say happy Father's Day to everybody. I want to say, like I say, thank you again, Jarvis, for being on. And I always end every session with all is well, because that's something Quinn used to
Oh
say.
yeah,
So all is well. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the week, a beautiful rest of the month, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another guest. Thank y'all so much. Thank you again,
for
Jarvis.
sure.
Have a good day, guys.
Father's Day.
Bye. We hope that today's episode has encouraged you and helped to identify strategies to navigate your grief and begin the process of moving forward in life. Grief Tribe Healing Vibes. What were some key takeaways from today's episode? Drop a comment below and remember to like, follow, and subscribe.